An 11-year-old girl vanished one morning, and for the next 18 years, the world had no idea where she was. June 10, 1991, 8:15 in the morning. A young girl in a pink shirt and pink leggings was walking alone toward her school bus stop. Her name was Jaycee. She was in 6th grade. Quiet, gentle, and kind-hearted. Her long strawberry blonde hair made her easy to recognize. Her family lived near a quiet road in South Lake Tahoe. That morning, her stepfather, Carl, watched her walk away from home. Then suddenly, a gray car appeared near the hill. It slowly turned around. A moment later, someone reached out from the car. Jaycee was pulled toward the vehicle. The car drove away fast. Carl jumped on his bike and tried to follow it. But there was no way he could catch up to a speeding car. The gray vehicle disappeared. Carl stopped in the middle of the road, breathing hard beside his bike. He knew something terrible had happened. Police arrived quickly. Within hours, the search began. By midday, the FBI had joined the investigation. Within 2 days, flyers appeared all across South Lake Tahoe. Pink ribbons were tied everywhere, each one carrying hope. Volunteers searched the woods. Helicopters circled above. Students, neighbors, and officers all joined the search. But nothing was found. The case spread across America. Major news programs covered her disappearance. Still, months passed with no answers. There was no second witness, no clear license plate, no strong physical clue, no phone call, no trace of where she had gone. The man behind it was 40-year-old Philip Garrido, and the woman with him was his wife, Nancy. They drove for hours toward Antioch, California. By nightfall, Jaycee was taken to a hidden space behind their home. At that moment, she could not have known that this place would become her entire world for the next 18 years. Far from her family, far from everyone searching for her. Philip Garrido was already known to the justice system. Years earlier, he had been convicted in a serious criminal case. After serving part of his sentence, he was released under supervision. Officials were supposed to monitor his whereabouts and daily activities. On paper, the safeguards appeared strong. After his release, Philip married Nancy, a woman he met during that period of his life. The couple settled in Antioch, California. Their property sat at the end of a quiet street. Behind the house was a large fenced backyard. Dense trees and tall barriers blocked the view from outside. People walking nearby couldn't see inside. For years, Philip quietly transformed the backyard into a hidden living area. He added structures, power connections, shelters, and makeshift facilities. By 1991, the area had become almost completely isolated. There were tents, reinforced buildings, and heavily secured rooms. Most entrances were locked. Inside was a worn mattress, basic facilities, and very little natural light. There were no clocks, no calendars, and no reliable way to track time. Life became disconnected from the outside world. During the first year, her freedom was extremely limited. Only occasionally was she allowed a little more movement. Meals were minimal, just enough to get by. Over time, Philip worked to convince her that escape was impossible. He created constant fear and uncertainty. Many days and nights were spent in isolation. She stared at the sealed window, lost in thought, trying to pass the time. During her first Christmas there, a small kitten became her only companion. Years later, life in the compound changed. Despite the circumstances, she continued moving forward. She found reasons to keep going. The children who later became part of her life gave her purpose and hope. Years passed. Life continued within the boundaries of that hidden world. The backyard compound eventually became home to 3 generations of daily routines. Every detail, from names to schedules and meals, was controlled by Philip. Time moved forward. Jaycee grew older, year after year. The children also grew up without access to a normal education. They relied on old books brought into the compound. They learned to read and study on their own. Leaving the backyard was never considered an option. What makes this story even more remarkable is how close help came several times. Official visits were conducted at the property, yet no one looked beyond the front area. Questions remained unanswered. In 2006, a concerned neighbor contacted local authorities. The neighbor reported unusual activity coming from the backyard. An officer responded. After a brief conversation, the visit ended without further inspection. No one entered the backyard. No one verified who was living there. Looking back, it was one of the closest moments to discovery. At that time, Jaycee was only a short distance away. She was helping the children study, completely unaware of how close the outside world had come. Later on, some restrictions eased. She gained access to a printer and an offline computer. She helped with paperwork for Philip's business. By 2009, an unexpected series of events would change everything. What happened next would ultimately bring an end to the mystery. In August 2009, Philip arrived at the University of California, Berkeley. Two teenage girls were with him. They appeared nervous, withdrawn, and uncomfortable. Neither seemed willing to interact with other people. A staff member named Lisa noticed immediately that something felt unusual. Philip's behavior seemed erratic, while the girls remained unusually quiet. Lisa asked them to return the following day for additional paperwork. Afterward, she contacted campus police and requested a background review. When officers examined the records, they realized Philip had an extensive history that required immediate attention. The next day, officers observed the group carefully. The older girl looked pale and uncomfortable. The younger girl appeared anxious as well. After they left the office, campus police contacted authorities responsible for supervising Philip. They reported that he had appeared on campus with two teenage girls. A formal interview was scheduled immediately. Everyone was instructed to appear for questioning the following day. Philip arrived as requested. With him was a blonde woman who introduced herself as Alyssa. She explained that the girls were part of her family. Investigators separated her from Philip and began asking questions. She continued using the name Alyssa. Years of fear and isolation made it difficult for her to speak openly. She remained quiet, carefully choosing every word. Meanwhile, Philip's story began to unravel. During questioning, he eventually revealed information connected to a case that had remained unsolved for nearly 2 decades. Investigators immediately returned to speak with the woman. They gently asked her if her real name might be Jaycee. For a moment, she looked down, then she quietly nodded. She was 29 years old. Within only a few hours, one of America's longest-running mysteries had finally been solved. For more than 18 years, she had been separated from the world she once knew. News of her recovery spread rapidly. Communities across the country reacted with shock and relief. Her stepfather, Carl, who had never stopped searching, learned the news through television reports. He was overwhelmed with emotion. Her mother, who had spent years hoping, finally received the call she had waited nearly 2 decades to hear. Later, those responsible were prosecuted through the legal system. The case also exposed major failures within multiple oversight systems. Warning signs had been missed repeatedly. Questions had gone unanswered. Opportunities to investigate further had been overlooked. At last, Jaycee reunited with the family who never stopped loving her. In 2011, she published a memoir about her journey and later created a foundation to support families facing difficult circumstances. She chose to share her story publicly and inspire others. Her daughters grew up, completed their education, and built lives of their own. Today, this case remains one of the most remarkable recovery stories in modern American history. Thanks for watching. See you next time.